he is of many characters.
Two terms, and these terms are very definite. And I'm so democratic. When they come to an end, I'll step aside and my party will elect my successor. That is as clear as day. Those who have other imaginations, it's a democratic society for people to dream. But facts will take the day.
Anyway, you've heard it from July Moyo. If you don't know Mnangagwa, you'll never understand him. That is the sister confirming. July is saying he's a man of different characters. We all can attest to that. That's one of the reasons why we are here today. You see, Mnangagwa is a very calm, quiet person. But behind the quietness is a lot of scheming. He is really a schemer if I have to define him. I only started following Zimbabwean politics in 2023. And for the past 3 years, I've been studying Mnangagwa. And I wish he could have been dealt with maybe in the 80s or 90s or pre-independence. But unfortunately, people were so focused on freedom. We're desperate. But he had a mission. And we can see his character. He gets away with everything. And he also thinks that even right now with what he's pursuing the bill, he can get away with it. But I can guarantee you, this time around, he won't. Because he's surrounded. The problem is that he thinks Chiwenga is his actually rival. No, Zimbabweans are. Zimbabwe has been in the pits for decades. When I saw today them celebrating the Okode roundabout that was done by Mona, whom I'm saying like, Mr. Mona, you are such an embarrassment. I was like, we are not serious. When people are commissioning roads in 2026, that can show you that we are going downhill. In fact, Zimbabwe, some people talk about, no, the bar is low. No, with Zimbabwe, there's no more a bar at all. The country is in a mess. And we cannot afford to continue with this chaos that we are seeing today. Thomas Chijanze, he said over 90% of Zimbabweans earn less than $500 per month. The median income is estimated to be around $250 per month. That means half of working adults earn below that amount. In a country where rent, fuel, groceries, and schools fees are priced at US dollars, this is not just low income, it is survival. Now ask yourself honestly, if the majority of citizens are earning below $500 per month, is extending political terms the national priority? When households are struggling to afford basics, when young people are unemployed or underpaid, when families depend on remittances to survive, the focus should be economic recovery, no term exchanges. No to 2030 is about personalities. It is not about priorities. I completely agree. Because you know why? He confirmed his Muda.
This amendment is not going to benefit one person. It's going to benefit the mayor of Redcliffe. Yes. Councillor Jason, Honorable Samamba, Church Bomba, shall benefit a sheep, no senator sheep, no president sheep, 7 years.
I know some of you, it's your first time to pass through this channel. You're welcome. Please make sure that you subscribe, ring the bell. It is important. I want to say to my besties, those that dine with me daily, thank you for your support. I can see the numbers. I love you guys. Stick around, do good, and let's move on. Facts. 2030 has nothing to do with Zimbabweans. One of the reasons why I opened this channel is that the last time I went to Zim was not the last time. I think that was around 2022. I went to Zim and I remember I wept that nobody was able to control me. I wept because I saw people, like there was no change. This country has been stuck for decades. And I was like, what the hell is really going on here? Because every time I come, it's the same old problems. Some people are celebrating drinking a cup of tea. It is shameful. So when I talk about Zimbabwe, it's so dear to my heart. We are not just doing for content creation. This is so sealed on my soul to see this country work. Because for so many years, we've been played. We've been played and played and played. But this time around, whatever it takes, Emmerson Mnangagwa will not get 2030. It will not happen. I can see Ziambi is trying to rope you into this nonsense by accusing, gaslighting, that we are the reasons why Zimbabwe is stuck.
Ever since we introduced the direct elections, there was toxicity around one individual. If you look at all the elections that were very toxic, it was never about an MP, the presidential election. The 2008 one, the rerun, very toxic. Direct. If you look at 2018, the demonstrations and the shootings, it had nothing to do with the MPs in Harare. Nobody cared about the MPs in Harare. It was direct presidential election. Nobody even cared that ZANU-PF were 2/3. They were fighting that you stole our election, but in parliament ZANU-PF had a majority. You stole our election. So we looked at this and said, we are told that Botswana is a model of democracy. They don't have direct elections. Even in South Africa. Even the scenario that happened in 2008, for instance, when we were doing our studies to say, how do we implement to the book what the resolution said, but translating to an operative document that satisfies the tenets of government, we looked at the 2008 elections and we said, if we didn't have direct elections, we would have avoided what happened in the rerun. If I was in ZANU-PF, then I would negotiate with Welsh and say, let's form a government. In the same mold that Syria did in South Africa. You went to bed with DA and they formed a government. Nobody died. So they will tell you that we want people to die by having a direct election. That's what they are saying. They are not concerned about people. They may lie. We are Africans, one. We never had elections. We went to war to liberate ourselves so that Atirambi zofamba muna first. Atirambi zokuita mama minda yedu yanga yatorwa anyway. So that we if you listen to Tongo's speech, he says, I don't care whether I'm on upper echelons. All I want, I'm dying, is for my child to sit together and be equals. That was the messaging. So mchavanzwa maovheti akanyuka paindependence vakuenda mabhesi vamwe vacho vachitaura kuti aiwa universal suffrage, one man one vote yakauya 1980. So I just wanted to clear that, so that when you ask them questions, they answer you with how where did they learn about universal suffrage. If they say England, you say, but England, they vote for the MPs, they propose a prime minister, the monarch, the King Charles, who endorsed. In America, it's worse. I don't even understand the electoral college system. It's a thieving electoral college system.
It doesn't make sense. Makadakwa here, murukuputa banje here, mutoriro here, iguka here, ibrongo here, inyaope here, chibuk here, inyati here. What are you smoking?
I completely agree with Tendai. It's like they're smoking something. Because okay, the people that may not hear Shona, they think they're so smart, more than anyone else. Abusing Zimbabweans is their core objective. Playing Zimbabweans is what they live for. Scheming, backbiting, malice. They've polluted the whole country today. Most people are toxic. They pay people to push lies. And that's why the opposition had problems all the time. But we cannot continue entertaining nonsense. Let us teach them what life looks like. Because we can. Just on timber, Zimbabweans from Sanyati to cities are saying the same thing. Constitutional change that alters who leads and when must be decided by the people, not by parliament alone. Extending tenure or changing elections rules without a referendum undermines democratic consent and sovereignty. The people are work and their voice is constitutional authority. Referendum first, not 2030. Defend the constitution. We are in together. 2030 will not see the light of day. Emerson Mnangagwa is 84 years. I mean, guys, so many people at his age are home relaxing, play with their grandchildren. But he's just stuck. So there are speculations or rumors that his Mashikiro said to him he should be placing his own son. And you know he's very much inclined to all these shenanigans. Because in the book of Miss Mtambara, that is Professor Mtambara, you also mentioned that there was a time he dragged Mugabe into the bush where there was this old woman in the midst of the bush where he claimed that that was his aunt, the mother's sister, and she had a spirit of Nehanda on her. I think she's the one that told him he would be the president. That's one of the reasons why he did everything in his power to be where he is today. You could not qualify to be a president. I guess a few years in, that was like 2-3 years in, the military knew that they'd made a huge mistake. I think Jealous confirmed the same. They needed him out. But he thinks he can play everybody. ZANU-PF is long dead, but he's just mentioning it, but at the end of it, it's for ED, meaning he's not having a fully blown power structure that serves him and his children. That video can show you the day that they spoke about 2030, what happened. First thing, his son stood up and he looked at the back. And in the back, there was no response, meaning people were paid to push this 2030. One thing that you need to know is so many Zimbabweans are suffering and they don't even have a clue what 2030 is about. They don't even have a clue of what constitution means. Meaning the pauperizing of our people, it was very much intentional. So that they can play with their lives anytime, any day, to dance to their own nonsense. But this time around, we are drawing the line in the sand. Patson Kanengoni, dear ZANU-PF official, why do you always associate yourselves with criminals? Is this not your so-called Harare province chairman or so Joachim Chivai wanted by South African police for not appearing in court regarding 15 million of gold? Shibato Shema criminals, including ED. I think you guys remembering that these guys, 2 of them were arrested in South Africa when they were caught with bars of gold worth 15 million, and they were given 20,000 rand bail, and then they escaped to Zim. So they're literally gallivanting in Zim now. They've joined Hebe Chitepo School of Ideology, which I think that COUP is definitely just an association or initiated into criminality, in my opinion, because there's nothing good comes out of it. I mean, you know that Tinoma Chade came out, instructing or demanding that all the youth attended the youth so-called service. But here's the kicker. Tinoma Chakare's children have not attended to that youth service. Many kids within the political elite have never gone to that youth service school. It's only the poor people who are being dragged so they can be indoctrinated, brainwashed to support criminality. Not under our watch. Not under our watch. Now they're on a mission. They're after Chiwenga. You see, the problem is that many people within the Uganda thinks that Chiwenga is their problem. No, Zimbabweans are their problem. All Zimbabweans do not want to hear about 2030. Let me put it across. Maybe just a click, they're not even a percentage, because many people within ZANU-PF structures, some of them work with Mnangagwa, do not want 2030. That's why they always leak information to the Zimbabweans to know where they stand. They do not want to hear about 2030. So they've launched a huge attack on Miniyothabo Chiwenga and Chiwenga himself, that they're after taking away power. And I noticed that the taking away of power is a manipulation word. They use it to throw a dead snake. But the fact is that it's rescuing the country from the hands of criminals. You remember last time when Chiwenga took the dossier to Mnangagwa and said, please, can you arrest these criminals? The country is bleeding. People are suffering. And what happened? He was attacked immediately. But this time around, whether you're screaming or whatever the case is, Zimbabweans are fed up. We need a new country. A country that really works for us. This whole coup rumor thing, it makes me just pose one question. Why are you all afraid? Why are you afraid of change in the country? Because I'll tell you what, why are you afraid? I told you that the first tweet that I wrote on social media was that there'll come a time where dirty money fails. You guys, you are controlling all the money. You are giving cars, cash, you name it. You're doing as you please. Why are you afraid of people with nothing except their God? They only have their God, nothing else. I think we are in a very interesting season, right? You have the money, the houses, the cars. You're even taking my roads. And you still find yourself empty. It's not the things that fulfills you. It's treating others with respect. You want to see joy? Just be nice to someone. Put a smile on someone's face. And then you'll be fulfilled. But when you're abusing Zimbabweans, enjoying poverty, seeing them begging, fighting for a t-shirt and fighting for a loaf of bread, while billions and millions are being stashed in foreign lands, some of them spent like confetti, it's sad. Sort out yourselves. Don't be afraid. There is no coup nothing. Those who stand boldly to defend the country and its legacy will be respected, will be celebrated for generations. We cannot continue with criminals doing as they please. It cannot. It has to end now, and it's ending soon. When Ziyambi is mentioning toxicity in the election, he's gaslighting as if we are the problem. And yet they are the ones who are engineering toxicity. They're the ones who are causing chaos in the country. They fund lies against innocent citizens. And those that are not wise believe in it. Some of us, we have no time for that because we know who these people are. Trust me, I'm not the only person. They're after me. They've been saying all manner of things. I'm hearing people call me. I'll be like, hello, leave me alone, please. I'm turning 43 tomorrow. I'm a grown woman who knows what she wants. So let's look at the tweets that have been sent out on social media. Minnie is being accused of being dangerous. She's dangerous. She's after power. She's dangerous. She wants to get into the office. She's a dangerous woman. They're saying all sorts of things. So there's a guy with a ghost account. His name is Bete X. He wrote a series of tweets. He said, when cash dried up from exhorting Sir, Minnie Baloyi didn't panic. She simply activated a new syndicate. Property and Finance, a Chinese Singapore citizen miner, tobacco mogul. The coup has new blankets, so new bangers with the deeper pockets than meet a miner with interests across SADC, including DRC, Angola, Tanzania, South Africa, Zimbabwe. He is using his regional mining profits to fund a Minnie's faction in exchange exclusive access to Zimbabwe's gold belts once the new regime is installed. He's a proper dealer, my bad. He's a finance guru with access to offshore accounts. His vast property portfolio now collateral for loans funding the barracks recruitment drive. Every brick he owns is mortgaged to put Chiwenga in State House. The tobacco mogul controls warehouse in Harare. Those warehouses now store more than tobacco leaves. They are holding cash deliveries for junior officers. He wants the coup to succeed so his cigarette dominate regional markets. SADC mining network is perfect for money laundering. Gold from his SADC mines all mixed and sold as Zimbabwean production. Minnie gets clean cash, gets mining rights without audits. A match made in factional heaven. Terribly so warned about lean slice But even he doesn't know the full network. He takes orders via encrypted apps from Baloi's Borodale office, relayed via brains in the UK's office, a perfect secular conspiracy. SADC interests mean he needs compliant regimes everywhere. Installing Chiwenga in Zimbabwe is just a phase one. Next, to use Zimbabwe as a best influence mining policy regional, meaning is his gateway to regional domination. Cigarette production requires cheap tobacco. He's promised many that under Chiwenga regime, tobacco farmers' rights to be rolled back, will average price of $2.7, and the quiz business plan addressed as patriotism. Where does her loyalty lie, with her commander-in-chief or her husband, the general? That's a very stupid question, because, I mean, of course, if you are married to a man, whatever he does, your loyalty is with him. It's just, you don't need to ask. Right? You can't ask that question. But they're doing their best, trying to, to paint General Chiwenga dark and his wife, so that Zimbabweans would say they're not good. But here's the kicker. Because Mnangagwa understands that the real power lies within, in terms of their power struggle, not as Zimbabweans as a collective, but the power struggle is more within the structures that installed him, the military. So now that's one of the reasons why you saw recently that some of the military generals were offered $200,000 each, given cars and cash. But I would be surprised, because if they would give any normal person from the street, which we witness, cars and cash, of course, when they talk about the generals, I believe it. I mean, that's where there are speculation now that what's going on with Japres and the money that he's receiving and the cars. I mean, it's him, it's his wife. Him has received, I think, 2 top-of-the-range cars, cash. His Bob Band guys, and they've received cars and cash. His wife received cars. His mom. Anyway, we'll talk about that one separately. Let's take a listen to Temba Mliswa.
Intervention at all, but twice on the State of the Nation address. The MID is the chief director, if I'm not mistaken, the commander of it, I will say, is Major General Thomas Moyo, who is a seasoned soldier, who is very much respectful and who is loyal to his job and to the president. The problem that we have, which I must say to the nation, is that we also have the wife of the vice president, who is part of the intelligence of the army, which is MID, who is part of the intelligence of the army, which is MID. That being the case, she certainly has interests of her husband. We know the interests, we know how eager he is to be the president of the country. In so doing, he will serve the interest of his husband and not of the country. She is running a parallel structure, and it is important that the president... My expose of my passport and boarding card, which was done on social media by Ali Naka, came through her. She has been doing that. But what is also important is that the commander of MID certainly does not tolerate her. In not tolerating her, she's able to run a parallel structure. You cannot have a parallel structure from a security perspective.
They want Minnie out. They want her to resign. That has always been the goal, but it's not going to be easy to do so. And they're doing everything in their power, trying to make her life difficult. But one thing about Minnie that I want to say, I think Minnie has a character like mine. We are people that cannot be moved. We don't get moved. You know why? When you know that God is on your side, when you know that you are within the purpose, when you know where God wants you. I think there was a time I did a video where I said, is Minnie going to be the ace of our time? You know, I remember that video very well. And people thought that I was joking. I did even ask some of that trended on TikTok, and it trended really heavily, you know, saying she may be the ace of our time. She's coming from Matavele land. Maybe God is trying to merge the country and bring peace. Who knows what? So she's also a very powerful person in her personality. She loves people. She engages really well. She's now into fitness, where she's encouraging most of the people from Zim to take their lifestyle serious. And I think many women are relating, men and women are really, relating with her very well online. I mean, you remember last time that they met with this couple that he was just joking and she invited him, which is very difficult around Mnangagwa. When you want to be around Mnangagwa, know that you are either doing his dirty work or you're bootlicking him. Without that, you can't be around him. He is untouchable. No, he is. You can't. He's unapproachable. Even though some of the guys are saying he is. I wish I forgot a point that was so important. One of the reasons why I'm now trying to amplify the voices of the ordinary Zimbabweans is because I noticed that even those the academia ones have let Zimbabwean down. I'm serious. We used to think that some of these educated guys will be able to protect our country. No, they are at the forefront of demolishing such a beautiful nation. That's why I know we might as well just amplify our voices. I love Newsroom Africa because it promotes the same. That the real journalists are not the people that you are seeing running after the story. No, the first person to see the incident, take a picture or a video is the actual journalist. So the real Zimbabweans who are really dealing with the issues are the ones in the grassroots, who are suffering, who cannot have clean water. People who are facing Masua in Chitungwiza, in all these spaces that you think are not important. Not the ones in Chishawasha who have helipads on their homes, who are destroying Zimbabwe. We're not interested in those ones. We are dealing with the ones that you think are not smart. The intellectuals really have ruined our country. Most of them, not all, but most of them are behind the suffering of our people because they're enjoying the benefits. It is sad. So many is just trying to play with just the ordinary people. They don't like that. And the relationship between Mini and their husband Chiwenga is getting stronger and stronger by day. Because these guys thought they were done with Chiwenga here. Remember when he got very sick? We can never forget about the generals. When he got sick, and about his wife, it was just chaos there. Back and forth. Chiwenga was just busy with chaos and problems. That's how criminals thrive. They create chaos so that when they steal in peace. But Chiwenga is back. His countenance has changed. The real general is back. When he walks with dignity and classy. They don't like that. They had to see him live freely, happy with his family, his wife and kids. Many has changed Chiwenga's life. I think I spoke about this yesterday. Maybe some of you need to get your minis. I know you may have had a bit of challenge in your relationship. You can still get a good wife and restart. Trust me, there are very good women out there. Okay, I wanted to be naughty. I was going to be naughty. But anyway, we know that she is also a director in the military intelligence, which they know that she is privy to most of the information. But she's not the only one who's privy. Guys, Zimbabwe is so broken that even many people who work in the government structures are fed up of living in a dysfunctional country. I think you all feel the same. So the attack for Temba Mliso to say, no, she's compromised and so forth. And if you talk of being compromised, I would talk about Mnangagwa because most of his kids are within the government structures. Imagine your son being the deputy finance minister. Do you understand this? I mean, Mnangagwa's kids are running Zimbabwe. And you're worried about Mini, the wife, actually, that was in the military before even getting married to Chiwenga. She was always a military woman. She was not enrolled after the marriage. Leave Mina alone. And I must also say this to Mini, you're not alone, lady. You've got so many women who are running behind you. This 2030 will not see the light of day. Our people are fed up of being abused. By just a click, a few people who are bullying, who are sponsoring, taking the money from the state, Maridze Nyika. They're taking money from our hard-earned money to sponsor evil, to sponsor chaos. In fact, there's speculation that, actually the rumors that there are going to be many people who are going to be bombed this coming 3 weeks, fighting for this war 2030. And let me tell you this, brothers and sisters. Some of you will regret big time. Because Mnangagwa is not fighting for you, he's fighting for himself and his children. He doesn't care about you. He cares about himself and his kids. Just let you know. Some of you are getting like few little dollars and you think, oh my God, I've arrived. Now I'm walking around the big boys. No, just because you're walking around people who are stealing doesn't make you also rich. And by the way, these people are not rich. Because whatever they have is borrowed because it's going to come back to the state. Because most of them will be locked in prison for life. Watch and learn. Tell me what you think in the comment section, guys. Be nice, share, and like, and always remember that I love you. May God bless you, and may God bless Zimbabwe. Bye for now.